Nimbulaminak. It is indeed a pleasure to be here this morning to provide the opening remarks. I wish to thank the organizers for extending an invitation to be part of this auspicious occasion. On behalf of the Prime Minister, Cabinet Ministers and the Fijian people, I would like to welcome you all in Fiji. Most of you are not strangers to our homeland, to our shores, but I will still wish to extend a warm hand in appreciation of your choosing to hold this discussion here in Fiji. Make sure you feel at home in Fiji and, of course, here in the capital of Suva. We are all gathered here today with the sole purpose for sports and sustainable development. There is no doubt that at the conclusion of this workshop, we will each have deliberated extensively and collectively towards the realization of this intention. Ladies and gentlemen, as you are all aware, at the 5th World Conference of Sports Ministers, the MINEPS 5th that was held in Germany in May 2018, a global consensus was reached and adopted by all participating members that attended. The declaration, it was named the Declaration of Berlin. The Declaration of Berlin contained a set of detailed commitments and recommendations which was developed with contributions from some 100 experts representing public authorities, sports movement, academia, and also it was recognized as a framework for guiding international and national policy development. The declaration focuses on 3 thematic areas, which are access to sports as a fundamental right for all, the promotion for investing in sports, and fiscal education programs, and the preservation of the integrity of sports. As you are introduced to this declaration, please bear in mind in the purpose of our meeting called here today, that is to develop strategic action which are relevant to our region for the enhancement of Oceania sporting prowess. Therefore, I cannot stress enough the importance of this conference, and I call upon you as representatives of Oceania to continue on the initiative of this declaration for its implementation. As we identify common priorities and discuss our action plans for the Asia-Pacific region, let us remember that all this can only be achieved through enhancing partnership in the development of sports with our stakeholders. Let us work together to realize the commitment and call made by the World Sports Minister in Berlin. I also wish to inform you that as such, the Fijian government, through the Ministry of Youth and Sports, has upheld its commitments and will continue to do so. We recently returned from a fact-finding mission in Australia in an attempt to emulate their sporting success over the years. This was the visit was specifically targeted at the establishment of a Fiji first ever National Academy of Sports, an institution which when set up will become an integral part of an athlete's sporting preparation and will ally elite athletes' development and performance through sports science, sports medicine, strength and conditioning, nutrition and diet. This is an indication of the level of commitment which we have placed on furthering sports in the country. I wish you to also bring to the forefront of this discussion the crucial role the quality physical education has on a sports person development. These are small stepping stones on which the future and legacy of budding sports people are founded upon. Underlining the crucial role of sports teachers and coaches, continued provision of quality education and training of physical education is paramount. if we are to achieve international sporting success in our region. There is a need for concerted effort in all our parts in order for more Pacific sporting talents to shine in the international stage. Sports speak a universal language, and it does not require any form of transition. It develops enormous emotional and social strength. The shared enthusiasm, the shared experience of victory and defeat, the shared joy and suffering, it all forges bond. Sports crosses borders. It is able to bring people together of different ages and background, regardless of skin color, education, or religion. Ladies and gentlemen, with the 2015 Pacific Games in Papua New Guinea and the 2015 Commonwealth Youth Games in Apia, Samoa, on the horizon, I know that all of us in this room will be anticipating a marvelous display of sporting talent, and I hope that today's discussion will also have a resounding effect on the level of competition and are bound to witness at these two meets. No matter how well organized a sporting event is, it draws its livelihood from sporting heroes. Given their success and their personalities, many of them are role models and people with whom others identify. With their willpower and dedication, they spur on others. The way in which they deal with defeats earns our respect, but also our compassion, and when they doggedly continue to train and remain focused on their targets, they encourage each and every one of us. This holds true for sports for people without the people with disability. There have been leaps forwards in recent years, particularly in sports for the disabled. Today, it is the focus of much more attention and respect, which is no more than it deserves, given the breathtaking and the fantastic performance we have seen throughout the years. We still have a long way to go in our region. In Fiji, we are currently in the process of ratifying the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities and endeavoring to truly live inclusion in our country. It is important that we, as sports-loving nations, actively include people living with disabilities. The aim is always to tap and promote the positive effects of sports in its function of providing role models in our region. It is plain to see that all our efforts come to naught as soon as the integrity of sporting achievement is called into questions. We have seen time and now again how quickly fair and honest competition runs into danger when rules are broken systematically or internationally, or intentionally, when there are manipulation attempts, drug use, or corruption. These all cause serious damage to the wonderful image of sports and undermines the very value which sports represents. For this reason, we have to take a resolute stand against unsporting and criminal activities. Here too in the region, we need to present a unified front when it comes to combating the but considerable criminal energy in the world of sports. I cannot stress enough the importance of such conflicts, and I therefore call upon you to continue the momentum which was set in place in 2016 by MINEPS V. Please ensure that the efforts aim at bolstering sports prove worthwhile and fruitful. We must work together with our stakeholders if we want to see a coordinated and a partner approach to all levels of participation to ensure maximum return. I hope that your discussion today will have a resounding effects on the sports development, and I look forward to its outcome. Thank you, and Vinaka Walepu.